G'day, legends, and welcome back to another episode of the Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show. Hey, this is the show where we help frustrated network and affiliate marketers and online entrepreneurs master AI, social selling, and attraction marketing so you can build a business that works for you, not the other way around. Hey, I'm your host, Jeff Ross, your caffeinated kangaroo, bringing you some high-impact strategies, dad jokes, and a whole lot of awesome sauce. And today we're diving deep into the AI-powered marketing world with an absolute rock star in the digital world. Before we dive into today's conversation, let's talk about something that's helping network marketers and online entrepreneurs scale their business faster than ever. It's the Laptop Lifestyle Dads Academy. It's your one-stop shop to mastering social selling and AI automation, attraction marketing and personal branding, and duplication and team building without burnout. Hey, we don't just teach you how to grow your business. We give you the exact roadmap and tools to help you to make it happen. Hey, if you want in and you want to join us, you'll find the link in the show notes below here and you can start building your dream business today with us. All right, legends, let's dive into today's episode. We have a heavyweight in the AI-powered marketing world. He's the host of the AI Marketing Mastery podcast, a digital marketing expert in his own right, a thought leader in traction marketing, automation, and using AI to scale businesses. With a passion for helping entrepreneurs leverage AI to dominate content creation, automate outreach, and convert leads at scale, Casey has worked with some of the best in the game, from YouTube consultants with 50 billion organic views to digital marketing giants crushing it in the Faceless video world with TikTok and AI-driven branding. If you've wondered how to make AI work for you, how to use automation without losing your authenticity, and how to stand out in a sea of digital noise, this episode's going to be a must listen. So Casey, welcome to the Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show. Mate, I'd love you to just do like a quick 2-minute introduction for our listeners here. So you'll, tell us a little bit about yourself in 2 minutes or less, and let's get started.
So I came from the internet marketing world. I started way back in 2008. I've had a couple of different agencies, went to the corporate world, was not a big fan of that world, so jumped back to running my own thing again, got into AI and faceless videos, and just have been enjoying life.
Having a lot of fun, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. So, Casey, AI has completely transformed digital marketing over the last couple of years, but still not everyone's using it the right way. How do you see AI evolving, especially in attraction marketing? And what should you see entrepreneurs be doing right now to stay ahead of the curve?
Keeping up with the latest updates. So much is changing. There's so many new AI programs coming out. And what is it? NVIDIA's going to have a little desktop computer that you can have basically and put your own AI software on there to do. So instead of using ChatGPT, you can have your own little box at your house. So just keeping up with technology and what's coming out and following the right people, because they're like, I consider myself good at this. There are people that are amazing at it. Like I got a friend's nephew who sent me a prompt and I popped it in and I'm like, whoa, this is freaking cool. And he don't even do AI or any of that. He just works on video game consoles. That's all he does. But he uses AI and ChatGPT and inputs all of the instruction manuals, all of that. So he could just search something and boom, he's got all of his information to fix stuff. So,
yeah, wow. Yeah. I saw a case study the other day from a sales lead generation client. And what they did was they they record all their sales calls, right? So they got them all transcribed and upload the transcribes to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give really, 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 really blunt feedback. The feedback that, nobody's nice enough to give to you, because they're too nice to give to you, right? So come up with a few series of prompts around that. And man, the feedback was brutal, but it's that's where iron sharpens iron for sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we can actually make adjustments. Because I've been I'm not a video editor, so I've been playing with CapCut over the last 3 weeks and trying to figure it out. And like I made a video yesterday and put it in ChatGPT, and it's like, hey, give me your thoughts, and just on the script, and it was like, yeah, maybe I should go back to the drawing board and restart this one over because it was rough.
I love actually asking ChatGPT for feedback, especially when you position it, like you get it to act like an expert, like, we know both know Austin Armstrong from Syllabi, right? So you
Yeah,
can say, he's got enough content out there that, ChatGPT can sort of clone and mimic him a little bit, and you can pick it up and you say, right, act like Austin Armstrong, and give me some feedback like it because he was in the room, and that feedback loop. It's pretty cool. Like I said,
yeah,
this is where we can start to really up level ourselves and go through that learning curve a lot quicker. And that's one of the things I do love about AI. But mate, I see a
because
lot.
like
Sorry, where you go?
I was just gonna say, you can even use the same thing when like you're trying to generate prompts. You'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
give me a prompt to do this, and then also ask me 3 questions that you think would help better this prompt.
Mm, mm.
And then it'll give you the prompt like you requested. But then when it asks you the questions, you're like, oh, you probably actually do need to know that information. And then you
It's
give it
right.
the 3 answers, and then it'll
Yeah.
spit you out a better prompt and ask you 3 more clarifying questions. And you're like, okay, well, if I do this
Yeah.
5 or 6 times, it will really be a good prompt.
Yeah. You
And
get a pretty
normally, if
refined.
you do that, it'll come out really good and work every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, I love that refining process. But what I also love about it too is when you get it to ask you questions like that, it helps you to think outside the box of things that's just not in your forefront right now. And basically questions are the answers, right? So asking the
Yeah.
right questions to get the right answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Love that. So look, a lot of marketers are out there using AI the wrong way. I was guilty of it when I first started too. Either relying on it too much, excuse me, either relying on it too much, or they're not leveraging it enough. What would you say are some of the biggest AI mistakes people are making, and how can we fix them?
Not not properly prompting any of them. So like
Mm,
writing me a blog post on digital marketing, it'll do it. It'll be 50% decent. But
yeah,
if you give it about you, your writing style, any research you've done, like PDF files, any of that type of stuff, it will come out 100 times better.
yeah.
Just by, I mean, it can do its own research, especially now with deep research active. But for the most part, if you can help it, it'll come out a whole lot better.
Mm. Yeah, well, it looks like, this interview that we're on right now, I just did like an hour before getting on the interview, I asked it to go research Casey, and his podcast online. So we got a couple of links there to give it to. So it got a base understanding of who you were. And then I, with a couple of other prompts that I've got for my podcast, I say, okay, now with the information that you've collected on Casey, let's bring in the interview here, and so we can set up Casey to be able to be the hero of the other show, not me, and bring out his genius zone and ask him the right questions to be able to highlight his wisdom and his experience to be able to teach our audience. And,
Yeah.
the end result here now, as you heard, was the introduction and now the questions that we've got here in front of me that we're asking. And it's just a really powerful tool of how we can use AI to amplify us, to be leveraged, but it's still not a replacement. It's still us that,
Yes.
it's a partnership, right? And that's why I like to say AI plus our heart equals our superpower. Mate, so this is one of the biggest fears that I see in my space, especially, and I'm sure you see it too. One of the biggest fears people have is everything will be too robotic and it will remove the human touch from our marketing. How do you use AI without losing authenticity and still build real trust and relationships with your people online?
So I kind of tend to stick it. I use AI to basically fill in gaps that are going to take me way too long to just manually handle. They're quick little tasks that, yeah, it may only take 5 minutes, but when you got to do it 5 or 6 times a day, every day, there's not a good reason to manually do it.
To get rid of those bottlenecks.
Yeah. So like one example, clients I work with, they get reviews on Google. Well, you don't have to be a complete expert to just say, hey, thanks for leaving us a review. We really appreciate it. Well, I set up an automation task that basically knows everything about my customer. And as soon as somebody leaves a review, it just grabs it, thanks the person. It calls them by name because it can read everything in the review, calls them by name, talks about something that they said in the review, and then thanks them via the company.
Yeah. So look, that's some AI automation there, right there. Okay, I want to talk to you about this because I can see where, like in the review space, and you know that has a space, a place to pay. But you know, in a world that is starving for connection and really it's starving for trust too, what are your thoughts on using that sort of automation in, you know, people's comments on their post? Like for me, I feel like it starts to cross over now into engagement spam, especially if the bot's not trained properly. And I think that's the big key, right? You know, you've got to really train the ChatGPT bot there to be able to help support you, because otherwise it just comes across a little bit disjointed. It's not quite there yet. There's no emotion. There's no connection. There's no context sometimes. You know, what are your thoughts on AI and automation?
So I will completely relate. I tried setting up an AI automation bot to reply to Google comments. And like 50% of the time, it was right how it should respond. But then you get somebody that I can't even remember what the comment was, but it took the comment as in that they hated the video when really they said they liked the video. It was like, it responded, we're sorry that you didn't like our video. What can we do better? And I was sitting there looking at it like, that is not at all what they said. So
yeah,
I ended up stopping that and just went back to manually commenting because sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah, I just think it starts to get into a bit of an ethical area too, right?
Yeah.
As I say, you know, like in an online world, it's a very noisy place, and there's already a very low trust factor. And for me, if AI and automation can help us to increase trust, I'm all for it. Let's go. Like the review space, that makes sense. But getting into commenting, and I feel now we're starting to fall into, it's what I'm coining engagement spam. I feel like it's starting just to, you know, when you're looking for ways to replace you for the sake of replacing you, I feel it's lazy, and I feel you're starting to get into some ethical areas.
Yeah,
Just my
so
thoughts.
like, I won't name the company, but there is a company out there that basically works with Instagram that basically does that. Hey, if you type in chat the word RSS, and I'll send you my RSS feed reader.
Yeah. I know the ones you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. And so like that, you're sitting there like, okay, well, yeah, it drives up engagement on your post because everybody wants something free, but is it really helpful to you or anybody else? All you're doing is comment spamming, basically, like you were saying.
Yeah, like, you know, you've been in the game a while. Excuse me, it's a bit of a frog in my throat. You know, you've been in the game just as long as I have, probably a little bit longer, you know, since 2008. I think I started in 2010. You know, see, we've seen just about everything and anything in this space. You know, you got to remember back in the Google days when we had the penguin and the panda updates and all of those sort of things.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're in this space with the AI space with, you know, Meta having to, you know, fight against, you know, this type of automation. Look, what I see at the end of the day, it's black hat versus white hat tactics, right? And black hat tactics is always going to try and game the system, right? Game the algorithm, game the you know, the Google sort of search engines, or you're looking to cheat and game the system. And I feel like every time you go do that, you're just you're setting yourself up for a long-term failure, because, we've seen it time and time again, right? Facebook, Google, TikTok, they all change the thing to help, help keep their product safe for the majority, user-friendly for the majority. And I feel like if you're just chasing metrics, if you're just chasing vanity stats and all that sort of thing, you're missing the big picture here with what marketing's all about. And but if you come from this angle from how do I build relationships, how do I build connections, how do I take people from cold to sold, and traffic to lead to customer, and look after people, marketing and online AI marketing, dyslexia. AI and online marketing can be very powerful tools, right? But it's about how does it serve you and how does it serve the greater good, not just to play games and try and make money from it all. Yeah, it's a different conversation.
Yeah. And basically, you just really want to make sure that there is human interaction in AI, because I can automate a lot of things, and most of them will turn out good, but even if I just review it before it goes live, it'll always turn out better, because there's things that it just doesn't know that I can tweak in there. And it has access to all the information in the world, but it'll still get stuff wrong. So
once again, I just really want to highlight for our listeners that it's, if you're new to this AI space, look at ways to embrace it and amplify you and leverage it, but never look for ways to replace you. I like to describe it as it's a hammer. I could put a hammer into a 3-year-old's hand and I can maybe get a few holes in a wall, right? But if I take that same hammer and I put it into a master craftsman's hand, I'll get, a cathedral or a grand piano or, something masterful. And that's what AI is. It's just a tool. So, mate, let's talk about the future of content creation, because I know you're playing quite heavily here in the faceless video space. Mate, you've worked with some of the best in the game, with the YouTube experts, TikTok growth strategists, and, AI-powered content creators. So how do you see AI shaping content creation, and what is your best advice for someone who's looking to dominate, this space with AI-driven marketing?
So it's going to get heavily AI driven over the next 2 years. There are so many new programs coming out that are getting better and better at creating faceless type of videos and AI generated videos. Like you can even use Make or N8N to process and generate everything you need to make your own faceless video. Like I set up one today. I started it yesterday, but it generated all of my voiceover for a 3-hour video, and then made all my images, and then just shoved them into a Google Drive. So all I had to do was download them, throw them into CapCut, and export.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what was the name of that tool?
So it's a bunch of different tools. So that one uses ChatGPT's AI. It uses API. It uses Leonardo, I believe. Leonardo or Midjourney. I can't remember which one I have that one set up as. But it uses one of those two to connect in to make the images.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT to make the prompts for the images. Basically, all I did was give it my script in Google Sheets, and it pulled it from there and did the voice through ChatGPT, prompts through ChatGPT, and then got the images from the AI generator's image generator, and then shoved it all into the Google Drive.
Fascinating. All right, I have to look at that one. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah. Make and N8, and like I'm more of a Make person, but I know a lot of guys are using N8N, and I've set up an account and working on getting mine set up just so I could play with it, because it's
So Make's very, very
really
similar
cool
to Max very similar
Zapier.
to Zapier, and this innate-ins are very similar in that space, is it?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so.
Never heard of it. I'll
Yeah.
have to have a look at it. I've heard of Make and Zapier before, but I'll have to have a look at this other one.
Yeah, and Zapier just released agents the other day. So I'm not a Zapier fan, but now with their agents, so basically with Zapier, you can go in, select everything you're wanting this thing to do, and then give it a prompt like you would ChatGPT, and then it should go in there and it's supposed to build it out for you.
Interesting. I used to
Yeah.
play. I haven't played with Zapier for a little while. I used to play with it back in my Facebook ads days to, take the data from Facebook ads to Google Sheets and build out some
Yeah.
reporting docs. But I haven't touched it probably for a couple of years, to be honest. I'll have to go back and have a look.
Yeah. Yeah, I just found that out today. So like we said earlier, this stuff is always changing. New things are coming out.
Oh, I know. It's going pretty fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to look at ClickFunnels these days. Like ClickFunnels, when it first started, it was the best thing in the funnel development world. And then we had Kajabi and we had System.io, then we had Go High Level come out and sort of start to dominate that space as well.
Yeah.
But I reckon ClickFunnels 2.0 has stepped up their game. Like they started the whole funnel building game, and they got left behind a little bit. But this 2.0 version, it's definitely up their game, and I think it's now starting to turn into that Ferrari again, like it used to be. And it's funny watching the competition here happening and this space evolve and develop. And when you've been in it for over a decade, you can start to see the trends a little bit and the cycles, eh?
Yeah, and it's weird because like I'm used to cycles, like you're saying, they're a year or two long in this world. And then we're in AI world, and it's like the cycle is like 3 months.
Yeah, 2-3 months. Yeah, for sure. It's like the ChatGPT, and then you've got Grok, and you've got DeepSeek, and it's just it's pretty amazing what's happening. Yeah.
All of them are nuts.
But competition's healthy because it helps the industry evolve for sure. But I've got to say though, like for LLMs, I've tried just about nearly every one now, but I still keep coming back to ChatGPT. Like I feel like it's the OG.
Have you tried Google's Notebook?
Look, not really. I can't. Like I have dabbled, but I can't say that I've experimented deep enough to be able to do like it's any sort of comparison.
Okay, so here's one thing I would say: just try on it. It's kind of fun. Give it a topic and tell it to generate you a podcast.
Okay. Right.
It will do a podcast between two people, a guy and a girl, and they will go over the topic. Like I have a Faceless channel. I did one on one of the old preachers back in the day, where they just reviewed his sermon and talked back and forth about his sermon. And if like I played it for my parents, and they had no clue it was AI generated.
That's cool. I've been experimenting lately in the songs, in making music, AI music. And so like I've been using ChatGPT to help me to start with the lyrics base, like giving it like my wife and I's story, how we met, some of the struggles we've made over the last 10 years, and some of the beautiful points in that. And for our last anniversary, I got it to write me a love song. I turned that into an AI music generated song, and it was one of those really corny, really sweet romantic moments, like tears coming out. It's like that was pretty cool. AI helped me to do that and turn me into a songwriter.
Which program did you use?
Suno, I think it was. I can't remember off the top of my head now. Yeah, I think it's Suno.
Okay. Have you tried Refusion?
Refusion? No, I haven't heard of that one.
It's RIFFUSION. I don't know how long it's been out, but it's going to have to make Suno up their game. And it's 100% free, like unlimited music per day you can create.
Interesting. What was it called?
Refusion. RIFFUSION.
We're going to have a look at this one. Sorry, my spelling's not that great. So RIF, Refusion.
Yeah. like RIFF.
AI song generator. Make no, that's the
Yeah,
sponsor that. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yep. Okay. We'll have to have a look at this one. This looks interesting. All
yeah,
right, so listeners, that's Refusion. So Riff, RIFFUSION. All right. Well, I'm going to have a bit of an experiment on that, and then I reckon I'll come
yeah,
back and do a Facebook Live and show everybody this one. This one looks pretty cool.
yeah. Because it like Suno doesn't do good with like rap music.
Mm.
Refusion, man, like I I went with, there was one guy that did Rap God like Eminem style and told it 110 beats per minute, and like it had backup vocals in there. It was insane.
That's cool. I've
Like,
got an idea. I want to play with. I want to maybe look at creating like a Christian rap song, like share my story and turn that into a
yeah,
Christian rap song. Because I've gone from atheist to tried to kill myself 12 years ago, 10 years ago, to now I'm actually an online pastor and a church planner. So I might just share that
yeah,
story and see if we can turn into a Christian rap song.
yeah, that would be a good one because
Yeah.
it's definitely crazy. I've been playing with it for like 3 days now, and every day it's like, wow, I didn't know I could do this.
I just love how, our inner geek, gets just turned right up in this space. And it's like, I could spend hours just geeking out here and this
Yeah.
and just like exploring and researching and playing with it. And that's the fun part about this is it's brought out that playfulness,
Yeah.
like that experimentation, playfulness, creativity side of it. And I feel like people say to me, Jeff, like, geez, you pump out so much content these days. Like, don't you ever run out of ideas? And it's like, no, if anything, like it's been amplified. It's like the dial's just been turned right up, and I can't put out the ideas and the content fast enough because it just,
You
and that's what
can't.
AI's done.
Yeah, yeah, because like I like even with me doing what I do and making faceless videos all the time, it's like I get asked in one of the groups, "How do you keep finding new topic ideas?" And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
You
like
just hop on YouTube, you can find 100 topic ideas.
I know, right?
And,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
part of my students, like why they come to me is like, especially in content creation, is because the roadblock that they continue to hit, like people don't post because they've got writer's block or they're paralyzed or, they're confused and overwhelmed by it all. So that's, some of the blocks that we help take away with the Laptop Lifestyle Dads Academy. And it all starts with understanding what is your purpose? Like, what's your desire? What's your heart behind all this? And get clear on your mission and your vision. And, personal branding really at the end of the day is just the story people talk about you when you're not in the room. So you got to start to understand what is that story people are talking about you and how can you help, create that narrative. And then when you get into this content marketing space and you start to leverage AI and you get empowered and then you get equipped, that's leadership 101. That's, like it doesn't matter if it's an actual human being, like AI is doing leadership when you use it in that right way. That unlocks our potential and away we go. And like get out of our way. And that's what's happening, I feel, for us who are getting in here, having fun, just experimenting and, like playing around with like Refusion and, Leonardo AI. And like I remember going back through, like, I forgot all about this. 6 months ago, I wrote a whole book in 4 hours, 160-page book in 4 hours. Like what I did was I uploaded all the transcribes notes from all of my coaching videos for like previous 12 months for our academy that we were doing. And I said, turn this into a book. There was a few revisions back and forth, to get the book dialed in. But we wrote a 160-page book, about 19 chapters on AI, how to master AI and social selling for network marketers, I called it. And he wrote the book in 4 hours. We did all the image, the caffeinated kangaroo images and all that sort of thing and just pulled it all together. I think it took me longer to, get on Designer R and actually, format it and publish it than it took me to write it.
Yeah, and it's going to be, there are, was it fastreads.io has where you can just create books and use AI to create books. And it's a paid platform, but for like $20 a month, I believe it is, you can make one book a month, one large 120-page book every month. And I'm like, that's cheap, and it's got all the prompts and everything already there. You just got to tell it who you are, give it some ideas, and let it go. So
Yeah.
it's crazy how far the technology's come in the
Yeah, no,
even the
sure it
last
is.
year.
Mate, cool. Well, we're getting towards the end of our episode here. It's been absolutely really fun, geeking out with you here in this space. I feel like we'll have to get you back, and might have to do some like live interactive sort of teaching stuff and do some more show don't tell approach. I think that'd be fun too.
Yeah.
So mate, this has been absolute gold. So much value packed just in this one episode already. Like, guys, go and listen back to this. There's quite a few different tools that Casey started to bring to the surface here. For me, what I'm going to geek out on, I love this refusion idea. I'm going to go have a bit of play with that after this episode. So, mate, before we wrap up, where can our people find you? How they connect with you? How can they do a deeper dive with you and work with you?
So, I mainly spend a lot of time on Facebook and YouTube. So, Facebook is just /Casey.Watkins.SEO, because I made that back when I was heavy into SEO. And YouTube is, my channel is at Casey the Marketing Guy.
Cool. Awesome. All right, we'll make sure those links are in our show notes below, everyone. So, legends, what an episode. Hey, if this has fired you up, if you've geeked out with us on this, here's what I want you to do. Drop a rocket ship in the comments. Let us know what sort of fired you up the most. Hey, even let us know what tools you're playing with, what you're experimenting with. We'd love to know. Tag a mate who needs to listen to this, and let's keep leveling up together. You can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can even also find us on the Los Angeles Tribune Podcast Network. And before we go, Casey, I've got to hit you with this one. I did prep you for it. With every episode, we do a bit of a dad joke. And I've actually been, laughing at how cringeworthy ChatGPT can create the dad jokes for me. So here's that ChatGPT generated dad joke for you. Why did the AI entrepreneur go broke? Because he kept investing in artificial intelligence instead of real profits. Chatty. That's gold. I love it. That's probably one of the better ones I've seen ChatGPT put together.
Yeah, that's actually really good. I like that one.
All right, legends. Well, as always, you know the drill. Stay caffeinated, stay legendary. This is Jeff Ross signing off, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for your time, Casey. It's really been brilliant.